How's it going, YouTube? My name is Ari and welcome to Blue Lion Finance, a channel dedicated to investing in my personal journey to amassing $100,000 with my Vanguard brokerage account. Now, just following Thanksgiving, I hope each and every one of you had a very pleasant holiday, well spent with family, friends, and all of those you love around your table. Now, if you had that window of an opportunity to be investing this past Friday, I'm sure you'll have realized that the stock market hit some of the lowest of lows that we haven't seen since October of 2020. That all comes after the news of the new coronavirus variant that is out there, that is variant Omicron. It is certainly supposed to be the deadliest variant that has come about and now is creating a ton of uncertainty and a lot of fear within the stock market and the economy as a whole. Now, what that is doing is essentially just creating that opportunity for all of us to buy these stocks, high quality stocks on sale. And my account was no exception to the rule on Friday. It fell by $1,835.10, leaving my account sitting at $81,414.70 on the day. Now, being it is the end of the month, in today's video, what I want to get into are the 7 companies that paid me out in dividends.
Show me the money! That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit! Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
Throughout the entire month of November, so a video you're not going to want to miss out on. I certainly just hit a new monthly record high in terms of dividend returns. Just before we dive in, go ahead, tap on that thumbs up button as it greatly helps me out in growing this channel. And of course, if you haven't already joined me on this journey, go ahead, tap on that subscribe button while you're at it. I'd absolutely love to have you along for the ride with me. Now, YouTube, let's go ahead and dive right in. So it is that time of the month yet again where I'm sitting with all of you to share with you the dividend income that I've received this time throughout the entire month of November. Now, I certainly don't know about you, but I'm always excited because it's watching this dividend snowball just ramp up that makes me very eager to just double down on this very strategy and keep it really this simple in terms of making money. It has never been easier. So I want to rewind us back to November 1st and talk about the very first dividend paycheck that I've received. That came in from AT&T, ticker symbol T. Now, AT&T was founded back in 1983 officially. Since its founding, it's done an outstanding job in terms of growth, but along the way, it has of course acquired a lot of media businesses that ultimately led to their current demise, if you will. Now, I say that and use that terminology lightly because I do certainly believe that there is a massive rebound in AT&T's future. But in 2020, they announced a merger and acquisition there of Discovery, where they're going to be merging their Warner Media segment with Discovery. Now, I do believe that is an amazing opportunity for AT&T to really just myopically now focus on what they do best, telecommunications, and this ultimately is going to level off some of that debt load for them, but they're going to have a long hike back up this mountain in terms of their stock share price as they work towards their 5G network and of course marketing to take back their number 2 position from T-Mobile and go head to head once again with Verizon. Most importantly for the investor out there to understand is that there is a recovery in AT&T's future. While it may be bumpy, I believe a recovery nonetheless. Now, analysts also have those same expectations, whereas they're calling for a median stock share price of $31.50 and a high stock share price of $37. So right now they are sitting at $25 per share. There's certainly room for growth in AT&T's future. Now, we're here for the dividends and what I've personally received. So with an 8.5% dividend yield and me personally owning 12 shares worth of AT&T, they sent me a dividend paycheck for $6.40. Now, next up, and on that very same day, I received my second dividend paycheck from Darden Restaurants, that's ticker symbol DRI. Darden Restaurants is an American multi-brand restaurant operator operating some of the most well-known brands within the United States. They were first founded back in 1968 with their very first restaurant operation being Red Lobster before exponentially growing and now having brands from Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, and the Capitol Grill all underneath their belt. An exceptional restaurant operator that you can get invested into that, in my opinion, is just not going to be disappearing anytime soon. I mean, the beloved Olive Garden, those breadsticks, we will never get enough of them. Now, in taking a look at their stock share price, they took a beating in 2020, falling from around $120 per share to $39 per share, which is exactly where I swooped in to pick up about a handful of shares while they were heavily discounted. Now, in recent news and with every single news of a new COVID variant, this stock actually takes a hit, and it is exactly what it did this past week, falling from around $150 per share to around $140 per share. Perhaps a nice opportunity for you to jump in and buy the dip. Now, analysts only expect that Darden Restaurants is going to continue to grow, coming in at a median stock share price of $172.52 and a high stock share price of $185. Now, as of right now, their dividend yield is sitting at 2.97%, and for owning 5 shares worth of Darden Restaurants, they sent me a dividend paycheck for $5.61. Now, jumping to the 11th of the month, I received my largest dividend paycheck during November. On the 11th, go figure, 11/11, it came in from the world's most valuable company, that company being Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Now, Apple is a company that I speak about so frequently, so in today's video, I want to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, and to what you as the investor should know about Apple, and at least my personal opinion here, and that being that Apple is, of course, heavily impacted by the supply chain disruption, as many companies were across the board. But when it comes to Apple, I certainly think that once the supply trouble is actually resolved, we're going to see Apple launch to a high stock share price of $200 per share. We have to keep in mind that Apple is experiencing the supply chain issue, not a demand issue. And then ultimately, we're taking a look at where they're heading with that Apple car that is due to come out not too far off into the future. So all things to be excited about when it comes to Apple. Now, analysts certainly believe that Apple stock is only going to continue to surge, coming in at a median stock share price of $170 per share, a high stock share price of $198 per share. And again, in my opinion, will surge past that $200 per share mark. Now, while it doesn't have the largest dividend yield in the world, coming in at a current dividend yield of 0.54%, Apple investors are taking advantage of the world's most valuable company in terms of its stock share price growth and that dividend along the way. Now, as my never sell company, I currently have 86 total shares worth of Apple, and with that 0.54% dividend yield, sent me a dividend paycheck for $18.95. And a few days later, we had 3 companies pay me out in dividends, 2 of which were REITs, real estate investment trusts. The very first REIT I want to talk about is Realty Income, ticker symbol O. Hands down, Realty Income is my favorite REIT to invest in. It is a never sell REIT for my portfolio, and a REIT that I'm typically always talking about. So I'll just keep this one short, sweet, and to the point as well. And sharing with you, it was founded back in 1968, done a phenomenal job in terms of growing a portfolio that is very well diversified with over 7,000 properties spanning across the United States into Spain, the UK, and Puerto Rico. Now, they recently just acquired another REIT, that being VEREIT, which is going to send their property count to over 10,000 properties. Now, I only really foresee Realty Income continuing to grow well into the future and delivering through on returns for me. So of course, as an investor, I'm very happy with my investment in Realty Income. I'm just going to continue to dollar cost average my way into a greater and greater position with them. Analysts, of course, expect that Realty Income is going to continue to deliver through on those returns as well, coming in at a median stock share price of $78.44 and a high stock share price of $87 per share, so room for growth. I currently hold 67 total shares worth of Realty Income. Now, they have a dividend yield sitting at 4.01%, which allowed me to receive a dividend paycheck for $15.79. Now, this brings me to my second REIT and dividend paycheck of the day. That came in from Stag Industrial, ticker symbol STAG. Now, Stag Industrial is a much younger REIT. It was founded back in 2010, but nonetheless has done an outstanding job in growing a very well diversified portfolio. Now, they are myopically focused on the acquisition and operation of single tenant industrial properties, talking about warehouses and distribution centers, and a lot of their tenants actually deal within the e-commerce space, which is exactly where we're heading in terms of the future, which makes me excited to just continue to double down on such a position. As of right now, their portfolio holds 494 properties spanning across 39 different states, so it is just continuing to grow as we go. Now, a lot more credibility and reliability is established for Stag Industrial, at least in my opinion, in taking a look at their tenant list, when their tenants range from companies like Amazon, FedEx, Costco, Ford, Penguin House Publishing, just companies that are not going to be disappearing anytime soon that we can totally rely on. In terms of their growth into the future, analysts only have expectations they're going to continue to grow, coming in at a median stock share price of $47.50 and a high stock share price of $54 per share. Now, their current dividend yield is sitting at 3.32%. While I only own 5 total shares of this new position of mine, they did in fact send me a dividend paycheck for 49 cents. And now as for the last two dividend paychecks that I received throughout the month of November, one on the 15th and the other on the 23rd, I want to have you keep in mind that these are the two companies that I'm not going to go far into detail about because I'm not entirely sure where I'm aligned with them in terms of my personal portfolio, if I'm going to be really growing a position with them, or if I'm going to be selling out of these two positions to just double down on higher quality stock plays. But nonetheless, I want to talk about on that 15th, the third dividend paycheck that came in, that being from Hormel Foods, ticker symbol HRL. Now, Hormel Foods is certainly a standout dividend player. It is a dividend king with 55 consecutive years worth of dividend payments and payouts. It is a global branded foods company with many of their brands, I'm sure, within your very own kitchen. But like I said, because I don't personally know where I fall with this company, if I'm going to be heavily investing in them, I'm going to keep it at that when it comes to Hormel Foods, and sharing with you that I only have 4 total shares worth of Hormel Foods. I bought it as a defensive play in 2020 when it hit a lower low, and now here I am just collecting on a dividend paycheck. Their dividend yield coming in at 2.28%, which allowed me to receive a paycheck for 99 cents. And the last company that I received a dividend payment from was Fastenal Company, that's ticker symbol FAST. Now, Fastenal Company is North America's largest distributor of fasteners. We're talking about nuts and bolts, plumbing supplies, couplings, and a range of other products and materials. But when it comes to Fastenal Company, again, it was a defensive play that I bought in 2020. Not so sure where my position is heading with it. Nonetheless, a standout dividend player with a dividend yield coming in at 1.84%. I only have 3 total shares of Fastenal Company, so they sent me a dividend paycheck for 84 cents. And now for the moment you have all been waiting for, get that round of applause started, because we received a grand monthly total of $49.07 for doing absolutely nothing. That is the power of dividend investing. That dividend snowball is certainly ramping right on up, and exactly why that I choose to be a dividend investor, because it is literally the easiest form of passive income that you can even begin to create. So with that being said, YouTube, if you like what you heard, you learned something new, definitely go ahead, drop those comments below. Let me know your thoughts on these companies, if you're invested in them, and if you're looking to invest in any of them, just do your own due diligence prior to beginning that position with them, because I am by no means a financial advisor. Now, of course, if you haven't done so already, tap on that thumbs up button as it helps me grow this channel, and join me on this journey by simply tapping on that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along the ride with me. Now, YouTube, until the next video, I will see you all there.